What a throw. What a throw. What a throw. Goodbye.
What's up, nerds? Overall, I'm an average athlete. I can't run very fast, can't jump very high, I don't have pro athlete strength, but what I can do is throw exceptionally well. My ability to throw rivals that of most NFL quarterbacks or MLB pitchers. I can throw. And in this game, I'll prove it to you. So we're back on Maiev. Quick side note, if you're looking for an in-depth guide on how to play Maiev, check out my previous video, Why Top Players Love Maiev. I break down what makes the hero so strong, as well as an outline on how to most effectively play her, that you can take into your games to help improve your placements with Maiev. I know there's a lot of hype around Lich King right now, but I still think that Maiev is the stronger hero. Or maybe I just haven't been offered Lich King in any of my games and don't have any videos recorded with him. Either way, we're back on Maiev discussing a topic we haven't touched on too much on this channel, positioning. But first we'll focus on the gameplay. I do want to talk you through my thoughts on some of these turns, but more importantly I want to appear smart now, so when we get to my boneheaded throw on the final turn of the game, you'll remember my solid plays and won't think I'm a complete idiot. So turn 1, I decide to buy the deck swabby and then immediately sell out to hero power the selfless hero. I love selfless heroes. It's a minion that can win you fights early game, but also take into the end game. Plus, I probably lose that first fight anyway, so instead of hoping I tie, I decide it's better to start generating gold economy with my hero power.
Ugh, here he goes talking about gold economy again, like a damn broken record.
You better believe it, I will never stop talking about the most important aspect of this game. And then turn 2, I noticed that Mech Chick won her first fight, has a demon and took 2 damage, which means she has a homunculus. None of the minions in the turn 2 shop would have won me the fight, so I decided to hero power the selfless pair and buy the deck swabby. Now on turn 3 I buy the selfless hero, so next turn I'll be able to triple it, level again and discover a 4-drop. And then just hero power the dragon. Having a taunt is always useful in this game. So the original plan was to level, but I decide against it. I decide to pick up the Sorlisk since I can immediately begin to buff it. Plus I want to squeeze in another hero power. So I buy the Sorlisk, then I buy the Selfless, and then I sell my deck swabby to hero power another one. Questionable play, but I won't be too critical on myself for putting stats on the board. I'll save that self-criticism for later in the game. Great attack from the selfless here. So now we level, roll, and hero power. It's between the dragon and the microbots. Microbots will buff my Sorlisk and I can attach them to a mech if I find, say, a Deflecto or even a bomb later on. But I tend to try and force dragons on Maiev since she can stockpile minions with her hero power, so I opt to grab the Glyph Guardian. Grab the Sarlisk pair, have 5 gold left over. That means I can roll once, buy 1 minion to fill out my board, as well as hero power an additional minion. So I pick up the Shredder and then hero power the bomb. They'll both buff my Sarlisks. And we hold the deck swabby here. Really we'll want to reduce the cost of upgrading to Tavern 5 as opposed to Tavern 4 since we're always just leveling next turn. Oh, Eudora. You're a shell of your former self. And like I said, we're always just leveling here. And then we just pick up the bomb since it's a pair, plus it'll buff my Sorlisk. And then end on hero powering a buff card. Man, I love selfless heroes. I do want to caution you guys though, they're still a tier 1 minion, there's a reason why they're there. So while they're definitely a minion you can take in the end game, don't pick up every single one that you see. Opt for stats. Stats are generally always better to pick up over tech, but if there's no better options, then grab the selfless. Interesting shop. There's a pair of pairs, but I decided I don't want to invest in either one of those, so I just roll past it. And then Gold Grubber. And I already have 1 golden minion plus 2 pairs, so I decided to pick him up. He should scale really well, assuming I can find my triples. And then pick up the Bolvar. There will be a lot of Divine Shields rolling around. He's a decent tier 4 minion, so I pick him up and throw him on my board to help win some fights in the coming turns. And then roll into the Sorless triple. I do decide to sell off my selfless here. I want to get the Gold Grubber down and have him start scaling. We float a gold, but I'm okay with it. Level of Tavern 5 and grab my triple. It's between the Amalgadon and the Foe Reaper. And I go with the Foe Reaper. I love cleave minions, and since it's pretty early in the game, I should be able to buff them up to a good size where it can carry me to the end game. We win the fight, but we lose the 50-50 at the end to knock Reno out of the game. That'll come back to bite us. Grab the Baron for the selfless death rattle. Grab the jug. And then the Murazon. Really just looking for that Gold Grubber that Reno had, but no luck. And then hero power the Gold Grubber pair. easy win against Eudora and then roll into Bran. We're a bit board locked here though, so we have to decide if we want to keep the Baron or sell that off and focus on more of a menagerie build. And then when we roll down into the pair of dragon buffers, that's the route we decide to go. Pick up a ton of stats this turn, and then roll into our gold grubber triple. Plus, we're able to end on a hero power for another buff card. Grab the triple, and this time around it's definitely a Malgadon. We're facing the ghost, so I just go ahead and level here. And really good adapts from the Amalgadon, Divine Shield and Poison. We are board locked now though, so we have to think through what unit we throw away to continue to scale. Chadgar army. Grab some more buffs, and then decide it's time to part ways with Bran. I value the Selfless Hero too much, plus we can sell off the Bran, our buff units, and then pick up the Macaw to hopefully get double Divine Shields in this fight. And that plant spawn is what cost me the game. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, that tilted me. So let's circle back and talk a little bit about positioning. Let's go back to the start of this fight so you can take note of Reno's board state. Positioning is a bit of a tricky topic to have discussions on since it's very situational, but there are a few general tips I wanted to go over. First is to keep your taunt on the right end of your board. You want to isolate your minions as much as possible from cleaves. So having it in the corner means that a cleave can only hit the taunt and the minion directly to the left of it. Also, you generally want your strongest minions up front. You want your big boys getting in early attacks to start to take down your opponent's minions. But that's not always the case. Keep an eye on what your opponent is playing. For example, if they have a mech build, you may want a weak bumper unit up front, like a Bran or a Lightfang for example, to knock off a Divine Shield from a taunted mech minion and then have your stronger minions to follow. Or if you're going up against a beast build and your strongest minion is a cleave, I may put another strong minion up front first to take out the opponent's taunt, and then let my cleave decimate his death rattle minions and greatly reduce the value that your opponent will get from them. Or what if your opponent has a huge Divine Shield taunt like you often see with Curator? In that case you should go bumper first, then poisonous minion second, assuming you have one. So in the case of this game, Reno has a huge Divine Shield taunted minion. So optimal positioning would be bumper and then my Amalgadon with poison second. Positioning is another thing that sets top players apart from the rest of the pack, and something you can do to give yourself an edge in close fights. So what would have been optimal positioning for me next fight, given that we now know Reno's board state? Macaw up front is a bumper, Amalgadon second, Glyph Guardian third, and then probably Full Reaper in the 4th spot and the Pirate in the 5th spot. And what about the Selfless Hero? That should go next to the Taunt. Yes, there is a 50-50 chance he attacks first, and my Macaw won't have a chance to proc the Selfless Death Rattle, but that's fine. The Macaw will still serve a purpose of being a bumper unit, and that way I can protect one of my more important units from taking some huge cleave damage. Alright, let's start up the fight again. We end up losing, but we were the solid favorites. We got unlucky. And this is where I show off my arm strength. Check out this beautiful throw. I won't talk you through this buy phase because, well, it's just so incredibly stupid. Feel free to flame me in the comments, because I deserve it. I go from being over a 60% chance to win, down to 11%. The Divine Shield Poisonous Amalgadon was my most important minion in this fight, and I just throw it away. Yes, Reno made some improvements, but even if he improved the odds for him to win, it wasn't by nearly 50%, not even close. The odds shifted that much because I sold off my best unit for some stupid tech cards, because I got tilted when the Macaw procced the Amalgadon plants and not the Selfless Hero's Divine Shields in the previous fight. Did I throw this game? Yes. Is it embarrassing? Yes. Am I an idiot? Yes. Should I uninstall and never play this game again? No, dude, relax. Mistakes happen, but we acknowledge them, grow, and move on. So learn from my mistakes. Keep an eye out for what your opponent's builds are and position your board correctly to counter their board state. Hope you enjoyed the game. Godspeed, nerds.